Hello everyone, my name is Holly. Welcome to the channel. And just to get it out of the way, if you haven't subscribed or liked the video, please consider doing so. Thank you. All right. I am a psychic medium, and for general messages, which this is a very general message. I do feel like we've got a spirit hanging out with me, so that one might not be quite as general, but take what resonates, and what doesn't, then it's not for you. With mediumship, just a heads up. A spirit may come through for one individual, but there is the piggybacking effect, so that there may be similarities. Some of the details may be different, but the similarities may be the same. And because, there's only so much time, very often, if you feel like a message is for you, then take it for what it is, okay? I can't bring everyone through, and I can't channel everything. So, but again, you have free will. Anything that is said here is only a suggestion. Please use your best judgment at all times. Your life is yours and no one else's, and your decisions are yours and no one else's. Okay. All right, the first message coming through, and this is just from guardians and guides, and they want me to be sure and let you know that anyone that I bring through in terms of a guardian or guide or gathering of spirits, helpers and teams, it comes in the greatest possible good for all, okay? I do not agree with or channel any dark energy or entities, as that is, well, as far as I'm concerned, you can do what you want, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm not having it, and I set a strict boundary with that. I feel like I need to talk about this, and why. Because there are some people doing some things that maybe they shouldn't be doing, or dabbling in things they shouldn't dabble in. Be careful of what doors you open. They may be harder to close than you think, and they may not be what you think. I can say this as a medium, and I've talked to a whole lot of people who have crossed, and a whole lot of people who needed help in the process of crossing. But also I had my own near-death experience. It's important. I don't know why. This is the day I'm supposed to talk about it, I guess. I was in a head-on collision many years ago, and I died twice. The second time I was in the ambulance, and the EMTs put a sheet over my head, and they were talking about what a shame, and so I have been to the other side and back. When I say that there is a bright, and I feel like someone's in the process of losing someone right now to disease, natural causes, and you need to hear this. No one ever dies alone, ever. Even if the person appears to be alone. A little cat Meredith was trying to jump up. They aren't. Very often, if someone passes right when you leave the room to go to the restroom, or because they say they need something, if they're coherent enough to do that, or it's very often because the transition needs to happen without you there, or maybe they can't let go if you're still there. And we all know people who have lived with disease and illness, who have lived in turmoil and agony, and it was a gift for them when they did move on. It's horrific for those left behind. The act of passing, active passing, which is a weird way to put it, but no one is ever alone. Loved ones, your spirit guides, animals, your previous pets, everyone is there and they welcome you across, and it's a celebration. Understand that. It is a celebration, and they are in their best and most highest form. I know there's a question about, well, what about the ones who are not quite so nice? And I've had not the easiest time at different points in my life, and there have been a number of abusers in pretty much every way you can imagine. And I worried about that until I started talking to people who were coming through, who had transitioned and coming through for apologies for the person I was reading for. And then when my abusers, and the most significant two, passed, and they came through, I was not ready to deal with them. What I did find out, and eventually I was, and now they help me, believe it or not. It can happen. And it's given me some closure and peace and allowed me to move on in, I think, a healthier way. Well, that and a whole lot of therapy when I was young. But when I say young, I mean my 20s. I put myself in that. Give yourself the gift of therapy if you need it. Everybody needs help with coping skills sometimes, you know. So the people who have done heinous things, and wow, I did not have any idea this is where this was going to go today. Someone needs to hear this pretty desperately, I think. If you are in fear, there are two groups of people going on here. One with a loved one that's truly a loved one that's passing and they're in the grieving process. Someone else who knows someone's about to pass who may not have been kind. We'll just leave it at that, okay? As an understatement, vast understatement. The person who is not kind, they don't just cross over and say, oh, I'm in my higher self now. All is good. Hey, sorry about that. No, that's not what happens. Very often they go to, I've heard some people call it school. I call it rehab because they have to be, they have to understand their actions. And maybe that was part of the plan for growth and soul growth on the parts of everybody involved. But I have also found that sometimes people just screw up the mission when they get here. That can happen. Not everything is meant to be. A 2-year-old is not meant to be assaulted, okay? Unless some radical worldwide change happens as a result. But no, that generally is not the case. Sometimes people come in to try to make others better, and the people they're trying to make better don't get it. They don't get the lesson, and they continue to screw up. And then we catch the brunt of it. You've caught the brunt of it. Here's the thing. Live your best life. Because when that person crosses, and sometimes people will not figure it out until they are dead, quite frankly. And that will happen in due time and in their own way and when it's supposed to happen, in terms of everybody has an exit point, and I think more than one. But make sure you're safe in the physical 3D world. Make sure you are safe. Make sure you are taking care of your needs, and make sure you are getting healthy in every possible way yourself. Don't worry about what's happening to them. If it's a prosecutable offense, do what you need to do. But as far as from a spiritual perspective, and that's what I'm going to focus on right now, it's not a get out of jail free card when you cross over to the other side and you walk into the light. You are surrounded. You have to review your actions. You have to look at why you came in, or not you, but the person has to look at why he or she came in. Where did they go wrong? What did their actions cause in terms of the ripple effect? And I'm just hearing now that the person who was the survivor of whatever happened, they are given extra attention and guides and help. When everything goes south fast and the plans were kind of shifted and screwed up entirely, that's when an extra team of helpers come in. That's nice. I like that. That's new. An extra team of helpers come in to help that person with finding the coping mechanisms they need. Now, again, they can repeat the cycle and they can repeat bad choices over and over again, but their guides will not leave them, okay? And this extra team will be there to cushion them. I know it doesn't always feel that way, but the strong will survive. And those of us who have been through those types of battles know what kind of strength that takes. Good for you. I am proud of you. I am so proud of you. So if your person who is not so kind comes through, or you feel them around you, feel the energy in which they're coming in. If it feels lighter and you can tell it's that person but slightly different, and you feel there's others with them, then more than likely they are being accompanied by their personal guides that are still attached to them on the other side, or the, I like to call them rehab counselors in spirit form. When my biggest physical abuser came through, I was not ready to talk to him. And I told the guides, y'all got to do something about this. You need to move him on along. I'm not ready. And they respected that for a little while. But then it was also important for both of our growth and healing, his on that side, mine here, and to help me kind of let go of some of that pain and identification as a victim that I was, and I know this is very personal, but my gosh, who has, I mean, so many people have been there, and people who haven't told their stories yet. I know you're out there. You can do it, whether you tell it or not, but just get some help, okay? And if the first therapist doesn't work, get another one. You don't buy the first car you sit in, so test drive, all right? Anyway, that was a little aside. So, wow, did not expect this to be the message today. But as scary as it might be, if a spirit is coming in who was not the kindest, maybe they are coming in to apologize. And that can be healing for both of you when you're ready for it. Because you are the primary concern at this point, because you're still in the war zone. You're still in the trenches here, in this earth, in this body, living this life, in the fallout of what happened before. Do what you need to do to be healthy, emotionally, mentally, physically. It's that mind-body connection that I talked about in another video. This is the year for it. This is the year that the mind-body-spirit connection is going to be more important than ever. Ever. They're telling me to put my hands up. Yesterday I did a video and a guide called Miriam for many, many people. Anyone who wants to call on her came through for healing. She's still here, and there are others. And they want you to feel the healing that's going to come through. This isn't my energy. They're pushing through me. I can feel it in my forehead. I can feel it in my hands. Just allow the peace to wash over you. If someone is thinking desperate times call for desperate measures, no, not in this instance. Stop, reflect. What is going to best take care of you right now in this moment? Call on your guides, call on your guardians. Change is just around the corner. And what you do right now, if you feel desperate, what you do right now will affect everything in the future. So stop, reflect, and think about what you're doing. Call on your team. You have one. You have a huge one. Call on your team to surround, support, and protect you now. Get to safety if you need to. If you are in a safe location, memories cannot hurt you. Your actions can at this point. Okay. That was almost uncomfortable. Sorry, guys. Wow. Okay. We're going to shift tracks. Okay, 18 minutes. Okay. Okay, there's a woman here. This is someone who is in spirit form who crossed over. And I'm here. It's a B name, like B-E with T's, like Betty. I don't know that it's the name Betty, but it sounds like that to me. Bettina. It's. I don't think she was from this. I'm in America, obviously the way I sound. She was not originally from here, or may live somewhere else, but her name sounds like Betty. Okay. But in my American head, I'm hearing Betty. So there may be two that can resonate with that name, okay? On different ends of the world. But they're very similar in energy. That's why I mentioned the piggyback thing earlier, I think, okay? So there are two different spirits that are coming through with the same voice for two different people in two different countries. Well, howdy. Okay. You're on the right path for whomever this is for, okay? You're on the right path. You're thinking of a career change or career goals. The person in this country who's the recipient of the message is a little bit older than the person in the other country. I'm getting the person here in their 40s, which, honey, you're still younger than me. So in the 40s, and the person in the other country is in the like 20s, almost 30, and feeling pressure to make choices about direction, path, career goal, that kind of thing. Okay, these women are coming through with the B name for both, saying, interestingly, you're at similar points in your lives. There's always the need to take care. There's always the need to take care of what you need to take care of. And just me as a person, I never feel comfortable advocating, yeah, just quit your job and take off. Things will take care of themselves. Well, I would be in a panic. I would have an absolute panic attack. So that's just not how I function. So I never, ever, ever give that advice. And I don't think they would either. They were pretty solid, grounded women. And I'm still getting the 1950s. I'm getting the 1950s for one, or maybe even both. They grew up in a wartime. 1950s? I guess that would have been the Korean War. But they both grew up during wartime. One of them is a little bit older and may have been tail end of World War II for the American woman. They understood the need to have all of your needs met, like the Victory Garden from when you needed to grow your own produce to survive. Making sure you kept valuables sewn in your clothes or on your body in case you had to hurry up and get away. And that's for the other woman. What they're saying is always make sure your needs are met, but keep dreaming. You are on the right path with this career change. Be methodical, take it one step at a time. There is no rush, even though both of you feel there is a rush and you have to decide, like, right now, do it right now. And we belong to the same tribe, ladies. I'm that way too. No patience, none, and always feeling pressure to hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. But they're both saying, both of these spirits are saying, no, you don't. You don't have to hurry. You are on the right path. If you rush, you may miss a step and not get to the end goal actually as quickly as you want. Whereas if you stop, take a step back, and methodically evaluate everything you need to do. I think both of the recipients of the messages, we all share a common thread in that, and that's interesting. You are very analytical, very smart, very analytical, and you kind of dread the idea of juggling 2 jobs, trying to get from one profession into the next, but you can do it, and it will be short term, 6 months. I think it's going to be 6 months for the person in whatever country you're in. For the person in America, then it's going to be maybe closer to 8 months, but it's still going to work. Okay. Call on this person who will help you. Okay, she will help you, and rely on your guides and be open to receiving the downloads. That's usually just considered claircognizance when it's like loading software onto an app onto a phone or computer. It's a download. Allow that to happen. Okay, and when you get that inspiration, that bam hit, like, this is what I need to do right now today, then do it, because it's going to speed up and work really well. Okay. All right, one last message. All right, they're saying pick this deck. Got like a ton of decks out in front of me, and this is one of them. Okay, this is Sandra Ann Taylor. I got to hear her speak one time. Actually, she was doing a lecture, and wonderful. And I love her cards. Guess what? I don't read them the way it's in the book to read them, and I don't like reversals. So this deck is Energy and Spirit Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor. Very pretty. Very, very pretty cards. Also, keep a lot of rose oil around you right now. If the energy seems dense, keep rose essential oil and use it on your... for the 2 ladies. Thank you, Betty and Betty, or I don't know. Closing message and a lot of people can resonate with that. Okay, Goddess of Dreams, they want you to dream, have vision, intuition, and receptivity. Everything just said. I love it when it all comes together. All right. And look at the heart light coming out. Just bursting out of her chest. I think it's wonderful. Okay. And they're saying pick up the one on top. Teacher, learning a new path. Okay, ladies, we hear you. Okay. One more. Oh, my word. Okay. And they're not all happy, happy, joy, joy kind of cards in here. Okay, I know, I keep looking that way. I gotta... the force of love and creation with divine presence. Let me see if I can get a little closer. How beautiful. Okay. I'm also hearing, if you are in a place where there is sunlight today, get out if possible, because you need some vitamin D in terms of sunlight created vitamin D. Okay, well, I'm not going to... One more. Oh, these are so big. All right. Well, they're not that big, but, you know, I'm used to dealing with cards that are like that size. All right. One more. I'm going to just cut the deck because I don't know if I can do it that way. Ha-ha! All right. For the career-minded people, someone's going back to school. Spirit mentors and teachers, talent guides. That's exciting. I'm excited for someone. You're gonna learn a new skill, and you're gonna have a possibly a whole new path. And someone is thinking about going to either nursing school or medical school, but something in the medical field, not as a very specific thing like, oh, I don't know, the people who do x-rays and that kind of thing. It's not going to be that, but it's actually as and I'm hearing surgical nurse. Somebody's thinking about becoming a surgical nurse, and someone is thinking about medical school, but it seems too far off in a way. You know what? You're not going to know until you try. You got to be prepared. If you didn't pay attention and barely passed school, you are going to have some work to do. But I don't think that's the case. I think this is someone who is incredibly bright, high performing, but very beaten down and insecure. So please try. You will never know until you try. And the person who wants to go into nursing, you are an empath, so shield up, be careful. Don't bring home the all-seeing eye. So, and that's from this deck, another version of the Lenormand. Okay, so, and that was because I was thinking, wow, these are kind of just random messages now. And then I pulled up, it is coming from source. So, yeah, so the person who wants to go into nursing, there's one who wants to be a surgical nurse. You're very analytical and you can compartmentalize, so you're going to be fine. There's someone else who wants to go into nursing, and you're looking at dealing with geriatric patients, maybe even eventually a hospice or hospice kind of position. Be careful because you have tremendous abilities. One, as you have healing abilities, but because you want to help transition people across, you are definitely an empath and connected to spirit. Your healing ability, almost like with hands-on, if you are putting your hand on their head and doing this, you may already be in the position, but thinking about switching over to end-of-life care, palliative care. Understand that you are, if you don't already know what you're doing, you are helping to soothe and bring peace to them as they transition. And you may be working right now and not see this for a while. That's what you're doing. Also, make sure and wash your hands. I know you do frequently as a nurse, but make sure if you can't get to water in the room immediately because you're still working on someone, blow on your hands. Now, don't imagine it just flying around and going everywhere, but you're blowing that energy and that pain away from you and the person. Call on a guide to take that from you and remove it for you. Like I have a guide that actually comes with different types of vessels or whatever, and I do that. Now that's pretty blatant, and you probably can't do that in a room if people are watching you, but it just looks like you're kind of recentering, or even if you just do this with the intention that your guides just pulled all that off your hands, put it in it, and they're taking it away. You can name your guide whatever you want, just so it makes it fast and easy. You could call your guide Gerald if you want to. Gerald, I need you. Just say it in your head, wash my hands off. Again, anybody can do that anywhere, anytime. This has been the super fast multi-tip video today. Okay, so I think that's it. One general message for the collective. I want one general message for the collective to close out the reading for today. All right, and I shuffled these a little bit earlier. All right, one general message just for today for the collective. I don't know, it kind of comes out in chunks, but I know when I see what I need to take. Actually, both of those. All right, let's see, anything else? Is there anything else? Massively sloppy shuffler, I get it. Oh, I love that. I'm glad the last two came out. All right. Yeah. All right, so Six of Swords. It's been a long battle, people. And you are walking away, the victor, with all the spoils. Sometimes that has a really negative meaning, that card, but in this instance, with this image, for me, it's like, enough. I'm collecting up my stuff. I'm out. And you got some battle scars, but you did it. Good for you. Good for you. You are moving into productivity, fruitfulness with the Three of Pentacles. Maybe, again, this feels to me in this instance of going back to school, just intuitively and psychically what I'm getting. This means, you know, you've been through the battle, you survived, and you're taking your stuff with you. Just leave the baggage behind. And then you're getting ready to move into a new career, going back to school, but it's fruitfulness and it's happy. And the bees are there to help pollinate and get the ideas fertilized and rolling, not there to sting you. You've been stung enough, okay? Push that aside. Don't allow that to be part of your expectation. Oh, the Ace of Cups. And then moving into a loving, wonderful place. Now, for some of you, that will mean success, completion, moving into your chosen career path. For some of you, Two of Cups, it is finding your heart-centered soul path. And for those of you with especially like the lady with the geriatric patients, I know it looks like a card of romance, but I think for that person, it's stepping into your most fulfilling role that you could ever imagine. Just make sure to protect yourself in the process. For others, it could be, honey, you fought your battles and you are getting ready to move into a loving, wonderful phase with a soul partner, soulmate, who knows, maybe, but with someone you know at a soul level who may have been part of your soul group when you were on the other side. Temperance. This is quickly becoming one of my favorite cards in this particular deck. Just find balance. When we are extreme, in my view, it means we are usually at battle with something when we have an extreme. With temperance, it means we are balanced and we are in our best selves. We are open to receive the message from Spirit. Okay, a lot happened. A lot happened today. There is a lot going on. Thank you for watching. I hope you made it through the whole thing. Thank you. With the deepest gratitude, I thank you for being here. Be well. And I love your soul. I really do. There's so many good people. Don't let the few that are so wounded that they try to wound everyone else. Don't let them drag you down. The world is full of beautiful people. All right, let's see if this works this time. Bye.